Here we go. Trip to Key West.
Yeah, we didn't actually get to Key West.
No?
We got down as far as Marathon.
Okay. Who were you with?
Smitty, Jimmy Smith, the guy that lived next door to me on Canal Boulevard.
Oh, okay.
And to put this in perspective, I graduated from Southeastern in 1965. And they had a rule: if you were a graduating senior and you had a C average in the course, you didn't have to take the finals.
Okay.
So I had mostly A's and B's. I might have had one C. So I decided not to take the finals, so I just went home. And I had like 11 to 12 days, or maybe 10, between the time I got home and the time I had to go back to get my diploma. So I was next door watching TV with Smitty, and one of them said, "Why don't we go fishing?" "Sure, let's go fishing." He had a boat. And where do you want to go? "Well, let's go to the Florida Keys." That sounded like a good idea. The Florida Keys is like 900 miles.
Right.
So crazy as we were, we got together all our gear and fishing gear and diving gear, loaded it into the boat, and between 8:30 and 9 o'clock the next morning, we headed for the Florida Keys. Just headed east on Highway 90. Wasn't any interstate then. And drove all the way over to Central Florida. There was a Central Florida Parkway going north and south, and it was a toll road, so we took that. It went down almost to Miami, or maybe it did go to Miami. The longest stretch of ride you ever saw was between Pensacola and Tallahassee. There was just nothing there. Still not much. But we were down there for a week, and his boat broke down the second day we were out. We were staying in a cabin, and the guy that had the cabins had a harbor, and he had a boat for rent. So we rented his boat. It was an open boat with an 18-horse motor, and it broke down the first day we used it. Nothing but a damn fuel spring in the fuel system. Motor wasn't getting fuel, but so after that we wound up going on a charter boat called the Captain Winter. Went on it 2 or 3 days. Caught a tremendous amount of dolphin, and cleaned them. And there was an ice house. We got the ice house to freeze them for us, so we could take them home. First couple of days we were there, we went out to a coral reef and were fishing and diving on a coral reef.
And you had all the diving equipment yourself?
Yeah, I don't know if we had aqualungs. We had an aqualung at the time, which Smitty stole from somebody. I was not part of that theft, but I think we were just snorkeling.
Okay.
It's when I had my famous encounter with the moray eel.
I didn't hear that. Well, I guess I have. Tell me that story.
You know, we were diving on the reef and shooting little fish with our spear guns, and got tired of that, went back to the boat and sat in the boat and were fishing, and we were catching little grouper. Let's say little. They weighed anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds. They weren't all that big.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then you'd hook a grouper and they'd run into a hole in a coral reef. And if you'd pull on the line, you'd just cut the line on a coral. So we got the bright idea. I'd give Smitty the rod and just keep the line taut. And I'd go down and follow the line to the hole in the reef and pull the grouper out of the hole. And I did that twice. And when I pulled the group out of the hole, I'd yank on the line and Smitty would reel him up. And I'd go back and get in the boat. At the time, I had some Viking swim fins that were about that big, literally. They were size 15. Even with my big feet, I couldn't wear them without getting some rubber slippers to go inside the flippers. But at the time, I did a lot of diving out in the lake, and so my legs were very powerful. So the third time I went down after a grouper, I swam to the hole in the reef. I pulled on a line, and I had a moray eel on about a 6-inch tether. And I let go of the line. I started swimming for the boat, trying to stay one step ahead of the eel, who was in a bad mood.
Imagine that.
And not only was an eel coming, but Smitty was cranking like crazy to reel him up. So
Eel was following you back to the boat.
followed me right to the side of the boat. And you might not believe it possible, but I went out of the water and over the side of the boat all in one motion. And got this moray eel up on the side of the boat. And it wasn't big. It was maybe 3 or 4 feet long. But it had lots of big teeth.
Yeah.
And Smitty had a 22 pistol, and he blazed away at the thing with the 22 pistol and blew a lot of holes in it. That was my encounter with the moray eel. I've since had a number of encounters with big eels, but I was in the boat and they were in the water, and that was the way it was going to stay.
Yeah, that's a whole world of difference.
We learned. I caught a conger eel one time. We were fishing a charter boat off of Venice, and actually it was Benny's father who hooked it. And whatever he hooked, he said, it's too strong for me. I can't hold it. He gave me the rod. So I managed to, and it was one of these old reels that didn't have an anti-reverse. So you take 2 reels, 2 cranks on the reel forward, and the fish would take you back 1 crank. But finally I got it to the damn side of the boat, and it was a conger eel, which get much bigger than morays.
Do that.
And this thing looked like it was about 8 feet long and about as big around as my thigh.
Oh my God.
And I'm looking at this thing, and the captain, Buddy Pons, what's his name? He was one of my favorite captains. He leans over my shoulder with a knife and cuts the line. And if he hadn't done it, I would have.
Yeah.
No way we're bringing that monster into the boat.
Uh,
Okay, let's continue with this thing.
you know what that structure is by chance?
I have no idea.
Okay. But this was not in the Keys.
This was in the Florida Keys.
but
And
it was in Marathon.
yeah, we left here, like I say, a little before 9 o'clock in the morning. We got down there just after dawn the next day and found a place to stay. $10 a night for an air-conditioned cabin with a kitchen, and they threw in the use of the harbor for the boat. So Smitty says, you think we can do better? I said, no way in hell can we do better. That was Smitty's boat. That was the boat.
We can rewind.
And then we found an all-you-could-eat restaurant, which had things like fried chicken and spaghetti for $5. We ate there every night. And vegetables and salads and fried chicken and spaghetti and stew. That was the boat.
You put them out of business, huh?
Yeah. They didn't make a whole lot of money on us. It was about a 16-foot clinker type wooden hull. But I don't know what he had on the back, like a 50-horse motor. And the water was just gorgeous, crystal clear. I mean, we used to Louisiana water. We could not believe how clear the water was. So, that was Smitty.
That's Smitty? Okay.
Yeah. Now, you can't see it, but if you look down in the water, you could see barracuda in the water, small ones in the harbor. And that was us going out to the coral reef. And I really liked that boat because it had a windshield that would open up, and it had a canvas top. And I don't care how hot it was, if you were running and you had the canvas top up and you had the windshield open so the wind blew through, it was relatively comfortable. You can just make out a little barracuda here.
Yeah.
And that was the harbor where we had the boat. They had free use of the harbor for $10. $10 for the cabin, and they included the use of the harbor. Those look like, you can't see much there, but they look like parrotfish.
Yeah. Did you have some type of underwater housing for the camera?
Smitty did, yes.
Oh, okay.
He had an underwater camera. This was his camera.
Oh, okay.
So he's taking these pictures, and that's probably me. Now, you can't see it very well, but the water here was crystal clear.
I'm just impressed that you got any kind of underwater footage at all. I mean, that's not even, simple today.
A parrotfish. That you didn't want to mess with. That was a Portuguese man of water.
Is that what that was?
Poisonous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a horrible.
I mean, they're not fatal, but they make you very uncomfortable. And the legendary way of taking the sting out is to piss on where you got stung, but it doesn't work.
And you know this?
I know this, yes. Big brain coral, very
Okay.
impressive. And of course, you can't see the colors, but everything down there was very colorful. Beautiful little striped fish. There's me with my spear gun going after something. Yeah, I don't think he let me use the camera, so he took all these pictures.
Okay. What year you think this was?
1965, May of 65. I can tell you exactly when it was.
May of 65. Okay.
I said it was 3 feet long. It looks longer than that. Oh, this was on a Captain Winter. This was when we were fishing dolphin. Look at the size of that boat. There were 7 of us on that boat, 7 or 8 of us. And you can see, look at the dolphin jump.
Mm-hmm.
This is fantastic. I had no idea this film was still available.
It's in pieces. I had to piece it together. I had to learn how to splice film.
Yeah. There should be a picture of a dolphin in the water that I was fighting, and he was heading into a big line of seaweed. Some of these dolphins were good size. See, that's what I like about dolphins. They're beautiful, they fight like crazy, they jump out the water, and they're good eating. The nice thing about fishing over there was 5 minutes after you left the dock, you're out in the Gulf Stream. You didn't have the long 2 or 3 hour boat ride
right.
like you do off Louisiana to get
Right.
the blue water. You want to get the blue water off Louisiana, you got to ride for hours. As I recall, I caught a shark too. Those dolphins are absolutely gorgeous. They're blue, green, and silver. When you catch them, after they've been dead for 5 minutes, they turn gray.
Huh.
And that's a female dolphin. You can tell by the shape of the head. The males have a big squared off head.
You caught a bunch of them that day?
Yeah, we did. We went on it about 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
It was after Smitty's boat broke down, and the boat we rented broke down. Boy, now that's Smitty. I guess I'm taking some pictures because that's Smitty fighting the dolphin.
Okay. What year did Smitty pass away?
I'm going to say 68 or 69. Yeah, it was a big one that Smitty caught.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell if that one was male?
I think that's a male. Yeah, here's me fighting a fish heading into the seaweed. Yeah. Nothing I could do.
Yeah.
I managed to drag him out of it, though. Well, that's a shark.
And you stayed out. You'd stay out on the boat all day.
Not like here. It wasn't the dawn till dusk type of thing. But like I say, you got as much fishing as you got here
Okay.
on a dawn dusk trip. I guess the boat would leave the dock for about 9 o'clock, and they'd come in for 2:30 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that.
Okay.
I got to send these pictures to Tommy and Joan.
I can do that. I'll put them up on YouTube, and then you can email them. You can email them to whoever you like. I can help you do that.
You got to show me how to email things from YouTube.
I will. I haven't put them up on YouTube yet. I wanted you to view these before anybody else.
Oh man, I had no idea this film existed. And I've thought about it occasionally over the years, wondering what happened to it, because I have seen these pictures before,
Yeah.
obviously. But I had no idea I had the pictures, or we had the pictures.
Well, it was in a box of film that Mom had, and I got the box, I think, last year. And then earlier this year, I started on all the VHS tapes because those were a little bit easier.
That's porpoises,
Okay.
and that's back at the dock with the dolphins all hanging up. That would be me with my big ass cleaning fish. You see, after they die, they turn gray.
Yeah.
But they're beautiful when you catch them.
Hmm. I think that's the end.
I guess that's us heading back to Louisiana.
Yep. That looked like a good trip.
It was a very memorable trip. Very memorable trip.
And what was the key that you got to? What was the
Marathon.
Marathon.
It's about 2/3 of the way down the Keys.
Okay.
We didn't quite make it to Key West. We got here, and yeah, I mean, everything there was so wonderful, there was just no point in going any further.